one thing I talk a lot about is beds in vehicles and the effect that spare beds have on headroom and what you can do. Now, this is a very luxurious motorhome. It's a motorhome which costs well over 200,000 euros. So maybe it's not a typical type of motorhome, but it'll do for the point of demonstration. As you can see, rather than have beds above the driver and passenger position, we've got here lockers. This means to say that you've got all of this spare room above your head as you move around in the vehicle. I can bring the camera up there and I can put my hand up here and I can stretch it out, and I haven't reached the camera yet. There's plenty of headroom. Now, if we were, instead of having these lockers, we put a spare bed, what would happen? Every time you walked down to the front, which you need to do every time you drive, every time you sit around the table, then you have to duck. And now the question is this: how often are you going to use the bed? Now the answer keeps coming back to me. Well, what if you have guests? Yeah, well, what if you have lots of things, really? I mean, what if North Korea launches a ballistic missile? Do you need to have a missile protection thing in your van as well? I mean, there's lots of what ifs. Now, but if it's a what if you have guests, okay, right, there's a couple of places. The first place is on the couch, and the seats, the cushions will come out and make a larger area, should you so desire. And you've also got the floor, and you can get all sorts of things you can put on the floor to make it comfortable. And there's a huge garage in vehicles like this, so you can carry that instead. Some companies, for example Cartago, will charge you extra if you want to have the lockers put round there, because the bed is what is standard. Now, I know from talking to people, lots of people think that the grandkids may come with them. I also know from my experience on the road is that they normally don't. Of course, when we're dealing with motorhomes, we're dealing with people's dreams and aspirations, and a dream and aspiration may be that the grandkids go with them when they go off to the Lake District together, and that I understand. And that indeed may be the idea of getting a vehicle like this, to actually bring the family closer together. But and all that I understand, but my opinion is the grandkids are going to be into something like this. They won't mind sleeping on the couch down there at all. That's or on the camp bed, or whatever it is you're putting down there on the floor. I really don't think it's worth banging your head every single time you come into the van. And that's my opinion. And that's an opinion which is based on years of experience on the road.